I like to use hair over dental floss. I know it sounds gross, but this just works as a great system. I keep my chewed pieces of gum in the freezer because it helps preserve the flavor. I usually chew one piece every 3 days. Every Monday, I go in, I get my latte. I usually buy one large cup, and then I ration it out over the days. The lipstick marks indicate how many times that I've had to reheat this cup of coffee.
The other day, YouTube recommended this random video to me which featured one of the most disgusting cheapskate mums I had ever seen. And so I decided to have a listen to her backstory to see how much worse it could get.
I like to use hair over dental floss. I know it sounds gross, but this just works as a great system. Doesn't cost me anything.
What is going on here? You floss your teeth with hair. And you said, I know it sounds gross. Well, have you ever thought that the reason why it sounds gross because it is literally quite gross? So every morning you brush your hair, then you pick out a random strand of your hair, and then you proceed to use it to floss all of the random bits of food out of your teeth. But the thing is, if you're getting it from your hairbrush that you brush in the morning, that means you haven't had a shower yet. So the hair is all greasy and everything. Also, what is with the tongue movement here? Is this really how you're meant to floss? Are you meant to be using your tongue like this? Like going... And you say it's a great system because it doesn't cost you anything, but let's just remind ourselves, how much does real dental floss actually cost? Look, you can get a packet of dental floss for $2.95. And so in US dollars, that's probably like two US dollars. And that'll probably last you for like at least a few months.
My mom wants to save money for me for college. I have to grab a measuring cup and the cup I'm gonna pour it in because I have to make sure it's only half a cup full. That gets kind of annoying after a while.
Alex really gets irritated with things that I propose on how we can save money around here.
And I don't blame him either. Like, it's a little bit ridiculous because you can already tell from his voice that he absolutely hates, like, existing in the same room as his mom. But at least she's sort of, like, thoughtful, like, she's trying to save money for his college, and at least he acknowledges that. But then using a measuring cup to pour out your orange juice every single morning, like, that has got to be, like, a little bit annoying. Because I'm pretty sure, like, this is only meant to be, like, a strategy for, like, weight loss and stuff. Like, if you're doing, like, portion control and everything. Also, let's just remind ourselves how much orange juice costs. So I think the cheapest option we have is around $5 for 2 liters. And if he's pouring 200 milliliters every single time into his cup, then that means he gets 10 cups worth of orange juice. And so each one of these will last 10 days. Actually, you know what? I think, wait, this is actually like low-key kind of smart. But then anyways, why would you buy orange juice in the first place? Like, orange juice is pretty expensive. Why not just drink water in the morning? Wait, this like goes against the cheapskate sort of thing. Cause like you should just use water. Just drink water instead.
Every Monday, I go in, I get my latte, then I bring it home. To save money, I usually buy one large cup, and then I ration it out over the days. The lipstick marks indicate how many times that I've had to reheat this cup of coffee. On maybe the 3rd day, it seems like you get this film on top that you gotta take off. That part's disgusting, but there's good stuff underneath that.
Bro, that whole thing is disgusting. What are you talking about? So you're telling me that you buy one cup of coffee every single week, and throughout the week, you just pour out you drink a little bit out of this. You don't even pour it out into different cups. You drink a little sip out of it every single day for the 7 days, and then you reckon that's a good money-saving tactic. Why can't you just ask them for, like, spare cups? Like, you don't have to drink out of the same cup. And also, I'm pretty sure I saw cups in your sort of wardrobe earlier. Why can't you just use these cups to just pour it out into it and then drink it? Like, it doesn't cost that. Actually, okay, you have to like wash it in the washing machine, or you could just hand wash it. That doesn't cost any electricity, does it? At this point, I feel like she's on purposely trying to torture herself. Like, this must be some sort of like mental condition or something. And then she says that on the 3rd day of drinking the coffee, she develops this sort of film on top of the coffee, and then she has to go and grab it with her hands and throw it out. What even is that film? Surely that's a sign of like food poisoning type B. Like, surely it's a sign that you should not drink it if it's developing this sort of like bacterial film. But it doesn't even make any sense. So she's willing to drink out of this she's unwilling to drink the little bit of film that develops on the top after the 3rd day, but she's still willing to drink out of the reused lipstick.
I keep my chewed pieces of gum in the freezer because it helps preserve the flavor. I usually chew one piece every 3 days. See, I start with a piece on Sunday. Ride that out till about Tuesday. Then we get to Wednesday. That's when I treat myself with a whole new piece of gum.
What is wrong with you? You chew... Wait, what is happening here? So you have one piece of gum every 3 days, and then you even put it into the freezer to preserve the flavor. But if you wanted to preserve the flavor, why don't you just get a new, like, piece of gum every single day? Like, that has full flavor. Wait, but it's not even every 3 days. It's every 4 days for one of them, because you have here, one first day here, and then you have 2, 3, 4, and then on the 5th day, you get a new one. So that means it's been 4 days since you've chewed the same piece of gum. Wait, but if you're freezing the gum, how are you meant to chew on it? Wouldn't it, like, snap if you try to chew on it? Like, wouldn't it just crumble and go everywhere? Anyways, let's just check how much chewing gum costs. So we have $2 for an entire packet of chewing gum. And then there are 14 servings per package. So there are 14 pieces of gums in here. So this would last her how many months? It would last her like 7 weeks, which is like almost 2 months for $2. What? This is unnecessary. But since there's 14 here, if you just eat one every single day, that will last you 2 weeks, which is fine. You're spending $2 per week, which is like $1 per week. Is it really that hard? And then you're willing to spend $5 on orange juice every 10 days. There are so many double standards here.
Most professional women spend about $2,000 a year on their hair alone, just on the hair. I think it's much cheaper to wear wigs because I don't do hairstyling.
When I was younger, I would be at a mall. It would be kind of interesting to find my mom because I never knew where she was because of the wig. So I'd have to either think back to what she was wearing.
Okay, you know what? Hot take, but I think this one actually makes sense. Like, she's not gonna, like, she doesn't style her hair, and so she may as well just wear wigs because it's not really doing anyone harm, right? It's not like environmentally unfriendly, right? Because I feel like hair treatment for women and stuff, I feel like that's like a bit of a scam. It's a bit of like a money grab for all these businesses and stuff because there are so many random products that you gotta buy and everything. But what if you just like don't care? Like, you just don't even use those products and you just buy one wig. But the issue is that they look extremely unnatural. Like, they look like, okay, no offense, but they look really bad, like these wigs. Especially this orange one. It sort of makes her look like a bit of a orangutan. Anyways, I do feel sort of sorry for the son because he was saying that he would always get lost at the mall and he wouldn't be able to find his mom because he didn't remember what color wig that she was wearing that day. So I guess that's like the only downside of this, but other than that, I don't think this is that bad.
To join a gym, people spend about $60 to $200 on a membership.
Okay, breathe in. Let's go up. Let's fold our arms and reach through them.
Yoga mats usually about $50. I didn't have to pay a dime for this.
Bring your body up. Take a nice breath. You guys are doing great.
She is actually like a leech. She's like the definition of a leech. I feel like there's like cheapskates and then there's just leeches. But for this situation, I think it's not too bad because legally, I think you're allowed to do this. Like, there's nothing against the law that prevents you from doing this. So every day, instead of going to the gym, she just drives to her local park and she scouts out some random group of people doing some like yoga or doing some like gym work. And then she just hides behind a bush while copying all of the instructors' thingies. And what is this yoga mat? This is bubble wrap. But to be fair, yoga mats are pretty expensive. Let me just search it up. Actually, you know what? They're not too bad. You can get some for like 20. You can get for $10 here. And it's not like it's a single time use. You can like reuse it over and over again. So the $10 yoga mat may last you like years. Also, isn't the point of a yoga mat to sort of like protect your feet and your knees? But I highly doubt that a piece of bubble wrap is going to protect anything. But honestly, I do agree that gym membership prices are pretty expensive. And so I don't think this is that bad. Honestly, I think there's nothing really quite wrong with this.
A specialty yoga class can cost about $10 to $20 per class.
We'll start with the left.
I'm not going to pay for yoga.
All right, guys, you did very, very well. That's the end of class today. I'll see you next time. Our classes are part of the local parks and recs, so she can sign up for free anytime she wants.
Wait, but then why is she hiding behind the bush then? She is such a cheapskate that the thought didn't even cross her mind that perhaps this class is actually maybe a free class run by like the council. Because as soon as he looked over at her, she yeeted the fuck out of there. So that means every single week she just goes and hides behind a random bush without ever knowing that this is free. Like she doesn't have to pay anything for this. And so why doesn't this guy like approach her and like inform her that it's free so that she doesn't have to go to all this effort like hiding behind all this stuff? Or maybe he just finds it amusing and so like he purposely doesn't tell her that it's free so that he can just sort of watch her just hide behind everything.
Food can be a distraction to other things that we need to get done. Alex and I will eat a buffet every day, once a day.
I grew up going to buffets a lot, and she would really make sure I had a lot to eat and have that last us.
We eat one time a day, and we just pile it in.
Wait, surely this is animal abuse. Like, you only let your son eat once per day. And how long has this been going for? Like, even when he was like a young child, like when he was like 9 years old, you'd only let him eat once per day? Isn't this like bad for like nutrition and everything? Because it's not like buffet food is particularly healthy. It's like, it's usually pretty unhealthy food. And this is all he has eaten growing up for his entire life. Okay, let's rate their plates. So we have some prawns at the top. They look pretty decent. We have some fish underneath here. I'm not the biggest fan of cooked fish, to be honest. I prefer like sushi and that. Then we have a sausage. Okay, this looks pretty unhealthy. Imagine eating this every single day. Wait, I just realized that there's absolutely no vegetables or salad on any of their plates. Actually, you know what? Like, there's a little bit of broccoli. Okay, you know, at least they're sort of eating healthy as they can at the buffet. But wait, logically, how does that work? Eating once per day. Has anyone tried eating once per day? Surely that would be extremely hard because you'd have to literally eat so much during that one meal that it would last you for the next 24 hours. And so you'd go through this constant cycle of being extremely bloated and then being like extremely starving right before your next buffet meal. So that would be like pretty annoying to have to go through.
I want to sublet your room.
But where am I going to stay when I come back up?
A nice, clean, quiet motel. With my son moving out, I want to take advantage of the empty nest.
I don't feel good about my mom renting my room, but that's what she wants. I'll have to let her do it. I was expecting to leave with my whole bedroom, but instead all I got was my computer, an air mattress, and some clothes.
I'm really glad that Alex made the sacrifice to leave his things behind.
So first of all, she rents out her own son's bedroom while he's away at college. And second of all, she doesn't even let him bring anything from his room to his college. He has to leave it all behind, and the only things he can bring is a computer and an air mattress. So not even his clothes, because I think she wants the person who's going to be renting his room to be able to use all of the facilities and everything that he's left behind. But she tells him that she wants to rent out his room while he's away at college, and he asks, where am I going to stay when I come back for like the holidays and stuff? And she says that he'll stay at a nice clean motel. But wouldn't that be like more expensive? Wouldn't that like sort of offset all of the amount that's earned in rent while he was away? Or maybe motels are cheap. I haven't stayed at a motel before. Okay, let's have a look at some random motel rooms. So we have this one that's in the middle of Melbourne City, and it costs $89, which is suspiciously cheap. Okay, apparently this is $89 a night. There's no way this is that cheap. What? Nah, this must be a scam. Is it normally... Wait, what is this? Wait, how? I think this is probably clickbait. So I'm not going to trust this. But let's just assume that motels are not bad. Okay, so maybe this is not really a bad choice for her.
Trying to create boundaries so that we can section off the space between tenant and myself. Hi, you're here for the sublet?
Yes.
Yes, come on in. Now we're coming in here.
What is this?
That's a sheet. So,
What is this gonna always be here?
that's a divider.
I feel bad for the tenant who has to live with her.
So nobody is a fan of the way that she's decided to split the house. So instead of leaving it open, she decides to just do this random masking tape thing across the ground, and she doesn't leave it there. Like, if she had left it there, it would have been fine. But instead, she puts this random massive sheet along the thing. I mean, it's pretty impressive for her to set this all up by herself, but it's a little bit strange. And even when the person comes to actually like visit to take a look at the house that she might be renting, she takes one look at this person, and she's even afraid, like, she doesn't even step in at first. She's afraid to actually enter the house. But to be fair, is it really like that much of a problem having this massive sheet in the middle? Like, at least it provides you privacy, and it's not really gonna like stink or anything, right? Because what other alternatives could she have used? Like, maybe she could have got one of these, but they're pretty expensive. They're like $100.
The other things on the other side of the sheet are not included unless you pay for them. So the washer and dryer, they're on the other side of the sheet.
This guy just got scammed, absolutely scammed, because he can't even wash his clothes unless he pays like an extra fee. So he just got baited into potentially renting this place for like a cheap price, but the only catch is that he will never be able to wash his clothes. That's potentially a pretty decent business model. Like, okay, it's a bit unethical, but what if she sort of priced it as like maybe like $50 per night to stay here, but then you don't get to use the washing machine unless you pay $150 per night. But then again, he can just drive to the nearest coin laundry place and just do his laundry there.
We do have a fridge here for you. We have a hot plate.
So wait, there's no kitchen?
No, there is.
Oh, okay. So then why is that in here?
Well, the fridge and the stove, they're turned off. What you're paying for here is the common area, the bedroom, and the bathroom.
What an absolute ripoff. This is his entire kitchen. Like, you have the cutlery over here and everything. And he even asks, like, is there a kitchen? And she says, yeah, the kitchen, it exists, but you can't use it. He looks extremely concerned, and I do not blame him. Anyways, this is a massive ripoff because he only gets this common room, the bedroom, and the bathroom. Okay, maybe he doesn't really need anything more than that, but I assume he's paying like pretty good money for this place, and so that's why he thinks it's a bit of like a ripoff.
Are you leaning towards a yes here? Or?
Yeah, I'm leaning towards it, yeah.
Right. Grant is exactly the tenant I was looking for. Exactly. Now I found him.
And you know what's gonna happen when the son returns back from college 9 months later? He's gonna find out that he now has a younger brother.